right, if you will please open your interactive notebook to your table of contents, and on page 11 and 12, you're going to write down adding and subtracting fractions. And this is with like denominators. All right, adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. If you need to pause your camera or your video so that you can finish writing that, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, go ahead and turn to page 11 and take out, so you should be on 11, and take out your sheets of paper that look like this, adding and subtracting fractions with big circles, and another one that looks like this. Go ahead and pause your video and cut those out. All right, now that you have cut out your papers, you're going to take this first paper that actually has the title on it, adding and subtracting fractions, and you're going to use your glue stick and glue it into page 11. And then turn your page and make sure that it's 12. If you've not labeled it 12, do so. And glue in page 12. Now, this should be review of 4th grade. You are adding and subtracting like denominators. The 5th grade standard is adding and subtracting unlike denominators, which we will get to, but you need to make sure you remember how to do regular denominators first. All right, so if you go back to page 11, and if you still need the time to glue, pause the video. And if you look at the top, it says, I can understand addition and subtraction of fractions as joining and separating parts, referring to the same whole. So we're talking about things that are smaller than one, whole, and putting them together and taking them apart. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is you need to have some crayons or markers or something, because you'll need two colors. If you only have a pencil, then you'll need to shade lightly and you'll need to shade more darkly. So we're going to shade this first circle for this 3/8. This circle right here is divided into 8 parts, and we are going to shade 3 of those parts orange. So I'm going to color that orange just so that you know that that's the one that relates to. And then we're going to shade 3 parts. All right. Then we are going to shade another 2 parts, because we are adding for this problem. We are shading another 2. So if we're dealing with $1, I might have 3/8 of $1 and Miss Club might have 2/8 of $1. And when we put our money together, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 8s. All right. So simple, something you should probably have been doing since maybe 2nd grade. But just a reminder. So the denominator stays the same because we're still talking about this one whole. We're not adding these denominators. We're not multiplying them. We're not subtracting them. We're just, they stay the same because we're talking about the same circle that still has 8 slices of pie in it. And we took 3 and we added 2 more, so now we have 8. Or now we have 5, sorry. 5 out of 8. All right. Now when we subtract, we do something a little bit different. We shade the first number and then we cross out the second number. All right. So we're going to shade 4 when we subtract. All right, so we have 4/6. And we're going to subtract 3/6. We're going to take away 3 of them. So I'm going to put an X here. I'm going to put an X here. And I'm going to put an X here. And what we have left is 1. All right, so I took away 3 from 4. I'm left with 1, and I'm still in a circle that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of pie. So we keep the 6, and we subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. All right, so when you add and subtract, the denominator stays the same, and the numerator changes, whether you're adding or whether you're subtracting. All right, go ahead and turn the page. And I want you to do this one, 5/8 plus 2/8. So go ahead and shade in and solve this problem and pause the video while you do that. All right, welcome back. We're going to solve 5/8 plus 2/8. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to color in 5 of the 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because we're adding, we're going to add 2 more. And when we add 2 more, then we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. And because we're dealing with a circle that has 8 things equally divided, we keep this same denominator, 8. All right. Go ahead and do the next one. This is also still an addition problem. So go ahead and solve that and then come back. Pause and then come back. All right, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and add 4/6 plus 1/6. Now, if we already are thinking in terms of knowing what we're doing here, we could go ahead and say, okay, we know the 6 stays the same because we're adding and it's a like denominator. If they were different, we'd have to do something to get them to be the same, which is what we'll be working on for 5th grade. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So let's see if we can get that answer in our picture. So we're going to color in 4. We're going to add 1 more. And we should end up with 5 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Subtraction. Go ahead and do this. We have common denominator of 8. This circle is divided into 8. Go ahead and pause your video and solve this problem, and then come back to check your work. All right, welcome back. We are going to color in a total of 3. And because we are subtracting, we're going to take away 1. All right, so I'm going to cross 1 out. And then what I'm left with is 1, 2. So my answer is 2 over 8, which can reduce. All right, when we reduce, if 2 goes into 8, what we do when we reduce is we say 2 can go into both of these numbers, or any number that could go into both of these numbers, and we divide. 2 divided by 2 and 8 divided by 2. Notice that 2 over 2 is 1, so we're not changing really the size. We're just simplifying it, making it the smallest possible fraction that can be. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So what's left here is 1/4 of the pie. And you can see this would be a 4th here, this would be a 4th here, this would be a 4th here. So 1/4 plus 2, 3, 4/4. All right. So 1/4 is the simplest form. It's not the smallest fraction because it's the exact same equal size, but it is the simplest way to write it. All right. And the simplest way to write it means that this numerator is the smallest possible number that it could be in terms of that size of fraction. All right. Move on to 5/6 minus 4/6. Go ahead and solve that and come back. All right, welcome back. We're going to color in 5. This is out of 6. So that means I know there's 1 left here. So we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to subtract 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm left with 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. 6 minus 6 is 6 minus 6. 6 is the numerator, so we do not subtract. We just keep the same numerator. And we know if we've done this correctly, when you have a 1 in the numerator, it is simplified. All right, so if you have 1 over anything, as long as you've done the math right, it is a simplified fraction, and I don't need to worry about simplifying it any further. If this was 2/6, then I would have to simplify because 2 goes into 6 evenly. So I would have to reduce it to try to get it to 1. So when you reduce fractions and you simplify them, you're trying to get this numerator as close to 1 as possible. All right, so that it is in its simplest form. All right, you are done with your interactive notebook today. Please bring it to Zooms. I will be periodically checking those to make sure that you have them done. And at this point, you should go play some Fog Island Stone. All right, or Fogstone Island, sorry. All right, adios.